Welcome. So glad to see you today. You are on the Success Secrets for Business, Family, and Life channel. This is the Coffee Break Show. I'm Vickie Helm, and today's guest is Tracy. She's with us right now, and we're going to rock your world. This is brought to you by the Metadime Digital Network. And if you're new here, do me a favor, put your name down below. We go live Monday through Friday, and we share tips, tools, techniques, inspiration, motivation, and those things that are going to create thrivability in your life. And today's show is all about how to create thrivability at home. So if you're always here and you're a regular, welcome. I'm so glad you're on. Go ahead and put your name down below. We are going to talk about how to create some of the most powerful online business stuff ever. If you want a business online, today is your day. But I want to let you know about Tracy. So if you don't know, you read the scroll. She's a best-selling, award-winning entrepreneur. She's a Forbes Coach Council member, Amazon influencer. She's a LinkedIn advisor. She is one of the most successful. I think she has, how many books out? Three do you have?
9.
She's got 9 books out. 9 books out. And today she's going to share with you the secret of how to build an online prosperous business and really get it down. This is the day where you are going to want to take notes and listen voraciously. Our executive producer is on. Hi, Tracy and Vickie. Nice to see you on. As you come in, I see you coming in. Pop on in and put your name down below. Be part of the conversation. We love to see you. Tracy, welcome to the Coffee Break Show. I want to let you know, I wanted to interview you for a long time. I think when we added it on our list, and I'm really excited you are here today. Thank you for being here.
Well, you're welcome, Vickie. Thank you for having me. I look forward to engaging with your audience and anyone who's out there who has questions. Yeah, it's just a very unique and exciting time.
Yeah, and I have her here. So you know what? I am going to dive in. You guys, thank you. That's right. If you want to take notes, and then hashtag replay, because today is going to be one of the most important days you can invest the time in your business and in your life right now. These are the things that are going to help us. And I want to let you know, somebody's already put up the link for Tracy's 9 books right there. I mean, you can go right there and bam, she's got it going on. Hey, so Tracy, I want to start out with mindset first. Hey, good morning, Lisa. Nice to see you on. Hey, I watched you were live a little bit today. You did really great. I saw that live today. So what I want to say for the beginning of this is I want to talk about the level of insecurity right now that people feel because they don't know. It's like some of the people have just lost their unemployment. Some of the people may not know what to do, and they keep looking to go get a job, which to me, the workers being decimated right now, and into the next decade, I think that's going to happen too. And I want to know, for those people who keep looking for that job, what would you tell them? How could you help them get through, let's say, the next 10 years, the next decade?
Okay, well, I definitely, it would hard to predict how to get through the next decade. But I tell you what, I want to tell people how I've been dealing with my clients and helping them get through the next, I'm going to say, year. Because this next year is going to be a little bit of a crap festival, right? What the entire planet has been through, all of humanity has gone through as a joint experience, has been completely devastating for some, and yet rebirthing for others.
Yes.
And so I'll start where my journey began, and then show how I've been moving others towards it. So I'm fortunate, right? I have been online since it began.
Since the very beginning, actually.
Yes, since the absolute beginning of the internet. And that's
a software company, right?
Correct.
Didn't you have a software company?
Yes, at the age of 19, graduated. I hadn't even graduated actually yet.
Wow.
And I started a software company. So I have a kind of a little bit of an ability. I can't predict the future, but I can see trends that are coming up that are going to be dominating. So again, I started the software company, and then of course, I saw a shift in a trend, and I started months in advance moving my company to this new paradigm, right? And then, of course, I saw the internet well before it came on the scene. I shifted my entire company to be ready for that.
Yes.
And then actually an interesting part, it was in 1994 when I got pregnant with my first child. It then became, I look at all of these, shifts that occur in someone's life, whether it's health, whether it's this global paradigm, anything can occur, right? And so at that moment, I was like, what do I want this to look like? I have 15 staff. My husband and I have been working together since 1992.
Wow.
So 24/7 we're together. And then at that moment, as I'm pregnant, I'm like, how will I unfold this family dynamic and where I'm going? Am I going to be at work and leave the kid at home? What's happening here? So I said, what would my perfect life look like? And so I unfolded that, and it became a very early move to virtual office. 1994, it hadn't been done.
Yeah.
People said we were committing suicide. I moved my husband home, and 15 programmers went virtual. This is pre-internet practically. We didn't have the ability to do what we do now, which remote officing is a breeze now. But we did it. And not only that, we continued to up-level our distribution networks, went global, Australia, South Africa, and we continued to really, really grow. And then right after that, in came the push of the internet. And that started to, of course, open up stuff even more significantly. And then I saw so I'm all in on the internet, and I'm dealing with banks and governments and Walmart and JCPenney and huge corporations and the lottery corporation. I'm unfolding for companies that did not understand what the internet was. Bang again, 2006, and I realized that the internet is now going to a multimedia distribution channel, away from, hey, we can put stuff up there and go look, to a broadcasting system. So I went interactive on the internet. So these are shifts that I've seen. And the reason I bring them up is because, of course, this global pandemic has been the biggest impact of our lives thus far, right?
Yes.
We've all been impacted in smaller ways, September 11th, all of these things have impacted the way we have to now live. This has made it a very significant change. And of course, I had chiropractors and physical therapists and yoga and Pilates, and I had lots of brick and mortar clients, and I had lots of speakers and authors and coaches and entrepreneurs. And of course, when the brick and mortar, they were devastated, literally, close to obliteration as industries.
Yes.
Many have not survived. Many restaurants have not survived. Many global retail chains have not survived. And so it comes back to the writing was honestly on the wall. I've been talking about it now for 15 years, right? About moving online, getting things in place. Don't just be a brochure of a website. Get get everything aligned too if you needed to do that. So I have clients that had already done that. They were fine. I was technically fine. But here's the interesting part. When I say I was technically fine, again, to me, that's a reboot, a rebirth, and a moment to
restructure. Yes.
Everything. Exactly. It was a restructure. So I'm sitting there beginning of March, and I'm like, okay, reboot moment. Yay. I got my online programs. I got my mastermind. I got my coaching. Everything I do is virtual, excluding my speaking, right? So my speaking got wiped. I literally was about to leave for a 5-country tour in April, all gone, right?
Yep.
Now, it's not necessarily that impacted me financially. It does, because I get spikes in my income when I speak.
I do too.
More importantly, it had me assess, is this still what I want to be doing? Do I want to be building websites? Do I want to be doing branding? Do I want to be doing email marketing?
Interesting.
All of it. So it all went out the door, just like I did this in 2003 when I was hit with SARS and we had a lockdown there in Toronto. And I brought, I said, what pieces do I want back in my life? So, I like to speak, and I moved him back, right? And then I was like, okay, I like to write. I'm going to do more books.
Yeah.
And then it became the big picture. How would I like to be earning income? And that's where I went out and started to look for a different opportunity. What could I do that is more passive, is more recurring, and is going to start to do the work for you, right? I have a freedom lifestyle.
That's the dream right there, Tracy. That's the dream.
Yes,
right
exactly.
there.
I want the freedom Uber. And so
that's right.
I found, honestly, a phone call came in. Actually, I didn't even look. A phone call came in. Somebody said to me, we're building an artificial intelligent kind of lead connection engine, right? So that you can have intentional connections with people, because we're all getting a little tired of the LinkedIn thing, and there was just kind of not anything else out there. And I was like, this reminded me a little bit of the software days where you are all about innovation and we're about to change the face of everything, right? I saw it was, to me, it's a unicorn. It's, it's a concept that's going to change businesses, and not just because we're going to have an easier time on finding the people that we need, but it was an income opportunity as well because it dealt with this 2-tier affiliate marketing structure. Well, my life changed the second I jumped into this, and I've been almost full time with it during this time, to the point where I became the #1 seller, the #1 team builder, the #1 marketer. So they pulled me in as executive VP of global marketing in the whole company. Well, I get to still do my own thing.
So I want to say a couple of things here that I think are really important that you've said that I think are so important. It's interesting. Yesterday we were talking, we had a team meeting, et cetera, and we were talking about why futurists win. And really that's what you are in that area. You are totally a futurist. The reason they win is because they don't look backwards and go, how do we rescue this?
Right.
They look forward and they say, what's going to be implemented that's here now? And our visionary just called you a visionary, which is a pretty big deal. There is like, thank you. But one of the things that is there that everybody is, I think that you can benefit from. I think one of the things everybody listening can benefit from is she was willing to let go of the past on a moment's notice, not just as it's like, hi, I reset my life. Resetting your life isn't necessarily some bad thing that happens because bad thing happens. Resetting your life, the way she said it, the way she is absolutely putting it, is so empowering because it allows you to evaluate what's important to you, how you want to live, what you want to experience, and the kind of tools that you can build that with, which is probably what we're going to go into next when we talk about it. But I think it's so important what you said, and I think it's so empowering for the future that we look at this reset with positive eyes, not we have to reset because, we're either going to sink or swim, and how do I swim if I'm feeling like I'm sinking? I think this is so important. This is moving from crisis to prosperity right now, and it's a time of great reset.
That's right. And it's moving from kind of effect to cause, right?
Yes.
We were effect when we were all shut in the house and we're all looking around going, this probably won't last long. It'll be okay. So hey, we'll use this as either a chill time. Someone either used it as chill time. I used it as a holy crap, I'm revamping everything.
That's what we did too.
So much video production in my life. I was like, holy mackerel, I actually have some time to do videos here. So I'm cranking out videos. I'm getting ready for a TV show to put them into a TV show. And so it became a forward motion. And I think that's one of the less time you spend going, oh no, and the more time you spend going, okay.
That's right. You go, girl.
And that's going to kind of give you the rapid acceleration that you're going to need to get the heck out of the pit, right? And even even if the supplement continued and unemployment, you won't be happy there, right? You need to be productive. That's what makes people happy.
Yeah.
And if you had a job and you don't want to go back to it, or there isn't a job to go back to, or the thought of wearing the mask and the gloves and the whatever to this new environment you'd have to live in, if you don't want to do that, then start looking. That's exactly what I did. You don't have to repeat the same patterns. You don't have to go down the same path you were on prior to this moment. It is okay to look at a 360 degree and say, what do I really want to do? How do I want to make my money? How do I want to position my life? How do I want to grow as a person? And it's okay to start walking down that path.
Thank you. Donnie wants to pop in. Those who take the greatest risks also have the greatest potential for returns. We're at the doorway to the new paradigm and stepping in towards that. And Scott pops in, the lockdown was a time to restock, retool, and prepare for the next storm this ship of humanity must traverse. Who is ready? This is a thing. And this is so empowering. This is so great that you guys are seeing this here. I just want to say here, when Tracy's texted me and said to be part of this, I did it. I have witnessed her brilliance and I did not hesitate. Susie Nelson, that was some good advice you got there. I'm so glad you're here. And I like this right here. You have to be courageous and walk through the door. As we're looking at the future right now, the mindset that Tracy has is what's going to create prosperity. If you hang on to that old mindset, you feel free, she said. You feel free to go ahead. You don't have to go back to that past. You can go ahead and look forward and say, what do I want? So what would you suggest? How would you suggest people start evaluating? Like right now, there's a couple of things. I'm very interested in what you said earlier about moving to some affiliate or some part of something that you did where you became the VP of this company because you just had number one. First off, congratulations, because it's hard to be number one in 4 categories of anything. When you get Amazon's 3 categories, you're number one in Amazon 3 categories. I'm like, yes, we did good. But I want to say, let's say you're a beginner. Let's say that you have been a professional and you now want to go ahead and reevaluate. And you said, remember, I got my husband home and we did this. What would you say to them as they start? What's maybe 3 things they need to do before they push the button on this new thing? What do they need to think about, evaluate, look at, and see?
Well, it's now the new thing I'm in, or just a new thing in general?
A new thing in general, like if they come home and it's a couple, because you're a rare couple. You've been working since 1992 together. You're still married. You
still married, still happy every year and beyond. It grows. And that in itself, as you said, is extremely rare to have a husband and wife work side by side 24/7.
You betcha.
And we had the kids at home as well, right? So because I was a speaker, that was part of the lifestyle design. We had them online schooled, which is the system today, right? I was, again, 12 years ahead of your time. So they could travel with me. When I would go to Australia for a speaking gig, we'd stay for a month. We didn't have to rush back anywhere. And we would, explore the culture, let them see all these new things, live differently. And it was incredible to be this, harmonious family of 5. So this in itself, not just husband and wife, but maybe that created the ability for all 5 of us in one space all the time, scenario of harmony. And so that was also an incredible part of our journey. But I think one of the things you want to take a look at is assess the skills that you have. So if you're a professional almost at anything, chances are you have the skills to reposition and leverage those skills in a way that can start to work for you. And there's just so many companies and opportunities out there that are driven through an online basis, and that all you need is the ability at that point to, if you like to talk to people, you've aced this world, right? If you're a salesperson, you can do anything. Your opportunities are endless. If you're an introvert, then you might have to get out of your own way. And I say that because people would never believe I'm an introvert. I am an introvert. I was a computer programmer. I was an accountant. These are the two skill sets.
Wait a
I
minute.
graduated with.
I have a degree in accounting.
Yeah, exactly. And so it's a funny thing, but when you are called upon to do more, and I was, that's where I had to say tough crap that, it's uncomfortable for me. I have a bigger vision. And so I think that's the other thing. That's the second part is, what is your destiny if you can even look that far and come backwards? My destiny was 100% empowering, I'll say empowering women to step into their own kind of power and become and have the ability to do what they needed to do to shift the entire trajectory of the planet. And that's going back 20 years.
That's going to happen. Wow, you were very much ahead of your time.
We are.
How is that happening? I know we're going there. It's so
right.
interesting because you've already named a couple of things there's an interesting aspect. You said the second part of this is, it's like when you know you're called, and that ding the bell for me, when you know you're called, that is an insular thing. And I think as an introvert, you can feel that more than an extrovert, because an extrovert, we're all out here and looking at everything and very excited. And I am a very happy extrovert, but I have an introverted part of me. And you said something that's so profound, because a lot of people don't know how to come inside and ask. You knew. How old were you when you knew? I bet you were a little girl when you knew that there was something you were meant to be changing the world. And you were, how long has this been happening for you?
Yeah, well, I'll tell you when it happened. When I was 3 years old, I was hit by a car. And so I exited the body, if we want to go there, right?
Yep.
And I saw what was going on and
had a talk with a man upstairs.
And I was shoved back in.
Tracy got a job for you.
Get your ass back. You are not done. and so
I'm only 3
years old. So I was shoved back into the body. I had all sorts of stuff broken. And so it was a very interesting moment. Now, when I went back, when I returned, I was not aware. Okay. I didn't sit there like in my head going, okay, I did this, I'm back, I got to do this. But it was a feeling that I carried with me of purpose. And so I'm 5 years old. I'm living with a family who were not necessarily religious, spiritual, none of that. They were, fine with whatever I did. And so at the age of 5, I remember getting on a bus one day and telling my mom, I'm going to go check out this Bible camp thing. Right. And then, at 7, I'm like, I'm going to, somebody is going to this church. I'm going to go see what this church is. And then again, at 9, I'm like, I encounter a friend who is a Jehovah's Witness. I'm going to go check out what this is. Then a Buddhist and and Jewish. And I'm going through every religion, and I'm pulling in the pieces that I like, and I'm searching. I was searching from a very young age for where the heck are the answers to this planet? Where is the blueprint? Where's the and more importantly, where's the way to freedom? Where's the way to spiritual freedom?
The real freedom.
Find that.
Yes.
Anyway, long story short, well, it's not a long story short, but at the age of about 30, I think it was, 35 maybe, or maybe a little younger, my husband and I, we started to write our own religious philosophy at that point. I'm like, crap, I just can't find this. I like this. I like this. I'm just going to come up with a common sense way of living. Funnily enough, as I'm building the website for this common sense way of living, that's where answers started to come to me, because it was every keyword, I'll call it, that I put in, it would come up as go check this out. And I was like, okay, well, I went and checked it out. And for me, I found the absolute path and the absolute answers to everything I had been searching for. But what's great about that, of course, is because of that incident and that that's allowed me to now be, I'll call it the extrovert that I am, because I am so protected. I'm protected spiritually. I'm protected with my
this.
own infinite beingness.
That's right.
I'm protected by everything, so that it doesn't matter what happens to me, as long as the mission is accomplished. Women get empowered. Women become the leaders that they're meant to be. The next generation of children they're, quite frankly, they're the ones that are going to pave our way, right? They're the ones that standing up and saying, this is not good. We can't live like this. We can't have all this waste. We can't have all this carbon. They're going to come up our path and fix us if we just let them. But what do they need from us? The wisdom and the leadership and the infrastructure to move safely through the navigational waters of evolution. And so this is the path I built for my kids. This is the path I'm building for women. And just my application of it happens to be online. Let's just get you online, because you're going to reach millions.
It's so important that you're saying this. It's so important. First off, I was 12 years old when I knew, and I was like 3. Wow, near-death experience at 3. That's really something. But the evolution of your soul in that place. One of the things that is helped me be successful is that same thing that helped you. I know how protected I am. I know how supported I am. I always tell everybody, I'm not sure what God is. I just know he spends a lot of time looking after Vickie Helm. And that to me is like, that is my mantra. He spends a lot of time when everything comes in right when it's supposed to, those things that are there. But this is a time where that transformation of that mindset that you just talked about, that purposeful mindset, that reset of being insular and knowing from inside, not just knowledge. Knowledge is good, but knowledge without discernment or divinity that helps success. And this kind of conscious business ownership, conscious leadership, consciousness, full stop, a conscious leadership, conscious business, conscious teams, conscious projects, conscious, purposeful things. This is the time that they're being born on the planet right now. And you're right. The masses have to be reached through the internet. And you were so ahead of your time on every bit of that. Somehow that piece of divinity is what helps you lay out that future. 10 years before it taps you on the shoulder and says, you're going to do this. If you can listen and have enough faith to walk in that area, then you will have you'll have success that is not, you'll have more success than you can even imagine. I want to go over here right now, because there's a couple of people talking. Near-death experiences are not a coincidence. You're an agent of change. That's right, she is. But here's the thing. When she says she's an agent of change, she knows it, but she knows what responsibility comes with that. It's a cool thing to be a thought leader. It's a cool thing to be an agent of change. It's a cool thing to be in the divine. It's also 100% in. You can't dip your toe in this. You've got to put your whole body in the water. And that's like baptism by fire. That's the agent of change. We are products of our experience and also chosen to lead. Yes. And those people, I'm talking to you right now. Those of you out in that audience who know from the time you're 3 or 10 or 12, those people that you're an agent of change, I'm calling you out right now. And with us, and say, this is your time, and you know it. You were born for this time in history right now. And it's time to step into that. It's time to give into that. Thank you for that. That was so great. Thank you. I want to just come right down here.
And let me say one thing about this too, and this is for everybody out there. The reason that I've been also able to do what I do, and so you want to look around who you're surrounded by, is 100% due to the fact that my husband also has complete faith in me, right? So he understood when he met me almost, right? As I'm unfolding life or plans or thoughts to him, he didn't say that's crazy, or we have to be more logical, or we have to do this, right? We're talking about, I would say something like, we need to move from Toronto to California. And he wouldn't say, you're crazy. We can't even do that. That's not it. No, he would be like, okay. and he would give me the space to make that happen. Well, what's funny, one little small scenario of this example is the housing market in Toronto was dead. Houses were not selling. And so I was like, okay, well, I need this to be fast. I'd already seen where I needed to be, and I needed to be there quickly. And so I got my house on a TV show called Take This House and Sell It, and it sold in 3 days. I was pumped and gone. And so,
do you hear this, Robin? Because I have to tell you, my spouse is exactly like your spouse. Lots of space for me to be who I am and do what I do. Oh, thank you. It made my heart go up in my throat when you said that.
What you say, and not like, this is crazy. It's not logical. Here's where we're going. Why all of a sudden are we going over there? It's because I needed to go here to see that next pivot point. And I know they don't seem sequitur right now. And I always tell him, when it's one of those moments, I'll say, I don't know why I have to do this. I just know I do. And then
amen, amen, amen. Oh, God, this is, girlfriend, I'm telling you, I feel so aligned with this and so aligned with this conversation. And there's a mirroring, a reflection of how you live and how I live. And it feels very validating. It feels very loving. And I love this. There's a lot of praise for your husband. Dave rocks. You're both so blessed to find each other in this world meant to be. Like this. I learned about Tracy and Dave's approach to parenting and the family unit, holistic living, which I really like doing. And, it's interesting because the whole truth of this, what you're saying is, it's such an opportunity, and we're going to get to the business building in this point at some point in this conversation. But right now, it's important. This part is so important because without the foundation, without this foundational piece right here, your house will crumble. It will fall. You need these pieces. Everybody can go, yes, and you can even work with it at the end, and we'll find out a little bit about how you can work with her. But these structures are so important. Agents of change equal Tracy Ripjack. Thank you. It was apparent from the moment you started sharing that the more you share, the more affirming your message becomes. Thank you for acknowledging your partner. Yes, thank you. Because partners are so important, especially mine. So why were you asked to move?
Nobody asked me. Nobody asked me to move. It was I'll call it a download, call it whatever you want. Right.
A download is great.
I just knew we were in one place. We'd only been there a year, and we thought we would be there a while. It was a beautiful home in Toronto by the beach. Everything was awesome. And I was like, oh, wow, I need to be. Now, here was the logical part of it. If you want the logic, at that time in Canada, the internet was dead. It was too conservative. I couldn't move and do what I needed to do to hit the next level of what I needed to become. And when I moved from Toronto to Canada, from Toronto to California, within months, I had written a book. It went to #1 on the Amazon bestseller list. And this was no Kindle, no nothing. This was like the real deal kind of night. We're going back to 2006.
Back in the day when you hit the bestseller list the hard way. I remember those.
It was 5,000 books in a garage. There was no print on demand. You were shipping it all out. I had to warehouse books. The works, right? I went to #1 in that next month. The next thing. People started contacting me from the book, and it's actually this book right here. You said 31 Days to Millionaire Marketing Miracles, right? This was the book I wrote. And so I'd made, 6 figures in 3 months. I'd won New Internet Marketing Success of the Year. They flew me from California to Singapore and to speak in front of 3,400 people. I got signed. So I was the first woman to win that. I got signed.
Wow, congratulations.
To speak on the World Internet Summit stages, right?
Yep.
I was the first woman to get signed by that organization. It was 15 men and myself speaking for 5 years, 39 countries, talking about internet marketing and social media and I was the one there empowering women that they too could be a part of this. So so it set that in motion. It set my speaking career in motion. It set my bestseller status. Wiley Publishing picked me up. A New York agent picked me up. And I got on TV. My entire world exploded from that one pivot point. And I wasn't going to, you know, I didn't know why. I just knew I had to be there.
Just knew it on the inside. It was almost like an intuition. Yes.
Yeah, 100%. Like
I got to tell you, I know this place. My career popped for me when I wrote books. My first book I wrote back in 1998. So I know that me getting it in press and selling it out of the trunk of the car and they're speaking and et cetera. Well, I had a London publisher pick me up. And when I knew I was actually supposed to be here and do this and move to London. I actually moved from Denver to London. I knew at that point in my soul that was the right move. But if you listen to your brain, it was like, are you crazy?
Yeah.
You have this 6-figure job and you have this and that and the other. Are you crazy? And you took that leap. And that is the leap that you need to take when you follow that.
Right.
My whole career exploded and it's never gone back to the way it was. It's just kept growing and growing and growing and growing and growing. And I like this. Now that's what I call a road trip. That's right. That's what I do. I love this. Amazing journey, Tracy. Yes. And I love, you are so refreshing to talk to. It is refreshing to have this both spirituality and business blended together. I remember when I did my thesis, I did it on business and spirituality in like 96 or whatever, when it wasn't very popular.
Love it.
And this is molding it in together, and conscious business and just bringing in consciousness right now is where we are. Now, it could look bleak. It could look scary. It could look all these things because you're telling yourself you don't know what to do.
Right.
And so today she's giving you a couple of things to do. One, you need to evaluate what it is that your skill sets are. Number two, you need to evaluate how you kind of want your life to be, what you want, what do you want to have.
Right.
Number three, she's told you kind of need to listen in, not listen to what you're thinking. Let your thoughts come up after you listen in and get the whole message.
Yeah.
And the message is there. And the number four thing she's given us is faith. You have to faith in the divine, faith in your marriage, faith in your work, faith in your path, faith in that voice that talks to you. Faith
in you. Faith in you. You were put here for a very specific purpose. Don't underestimate your abilities. Don't undermine your vision, your purpose, your mission. And you know, watch when logic creeps in. Of course, you know, logic is going to tell you, 100 things. And if logic doesn't tell you, your friends and family sure will. You got to step into that's where you got to step into your own power. You got to say, I got to do
You do. You have to, when that friends and it's funny because when you said it, I remember when it was happening to me.
Oh,
and now,
my God. My mom
now everybody's on board, but everybody else was like, what? You're going to London?
I remember way back, right? I'm graduating, degree in computer programming. Everyone's going to Toronto to get a programming job. I turned to my mom and I said to her, I'm going to be an entrepreneur, right? And she cried. She thought I was flushing my entire, degree down the toilet and I was going to end up, living at home for eternity or something. Because in our family, that word didn't even exist. In fact, I didn't know the word entrepreneur existed. It was because of a college professor that pulled me over 3 weeks before graduation. And he said, what are you going to do? And I said, I'm going to go be a programmer in Toronto. I was being a sheep at that moment, right? And he said, oh, no, you're not. You are outgoing. You're dynamic. You're a leader. You're meant for bigger things. You're an entrepreneur. That changed that changed the trajectory of everything. And so I said to him, well, what's an entrepreneur? And he said, it is somebody that finds a need and fills the gap. So that is how I live and breathe, because I'm constantly finding a need and filling a gap. And my whole how do I unfold a business, right? It's called Find the Gaps. And that's the
Beautiful.
process I take a company through, because if you're sitting in a leaky boat and you're constantly throwing water out, you'll never go forward. So we
That's
have
true.
to patch those holes up so you can get going.
So I love this, Tracy, and I wanna say that I think this is outstanding. When she was asked to attend the Global Economic Summit in China, and she was the only woman. I want to let you know. Oh God, I don't even know. I'm scared to say this in public. So now I have to announce it. I have always, my dream is to be a speaker at Davos on behalf of women, because representing women. And my new book is coming out. It's called The She Myth: Redefining a Woman's Place in Business. And thank you. And I'm so excited when you talk about it, when you speak about it, this era, it's a golden age of women. It's like when women rise up, everybody rises up, because we've been so male dominated world. It's like, do you see how we're working at half capacity? We're at 100% when we bring women up and girls in education and things in opportunity. We are building the golden age, the absolute golden age. Look at this.
And so
thank you so much.
Let me make one point on that, because it is so key, because it is still happening today. And I am about to appeal to every woman out there. And that is the reason men have gotten as far as they do in many cases, is they support and bond. They have their little groups, they network, they golf, they do things together. Oh, you need that? No worries. I got a dude. I'll connect and hook you up. That is the way they were born and raised. For some reason, women were raised that only one of you can make it, right?
Yeah.
So when someone's going up that corporate ladder, they're kicking another woman down. In many cases, we aren't supporting. And I'm going to give you an example that happened to me just last week. I had a beautiful, wonderful week unfold for myself, right? And so I had made a new purchase, and I was so excited. In my entire life, from the age of 16, I'd been waiting to buy a Rolls Royce. I bought a Rolls Royce. I shared my joy on my Facebook page. And I was like, oh my God, I finally bit the bullet. I said, I did it. And 170 people said, good for you, kudos, blah, 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 yay. And I was just, basking in a long journey and a reward, right? And so then there was this one particular woman, and I was shocked that not only berated me, she went to her own page, she posted the image, she scratched my face, she X'd me, and she continued for hundreds and hundreds of posts to define who I was and the greed of my mentality and the lack of I am such a philanthropist, nobody knows. And I said to her, I had one comment for her, and that was, how many men's pages have you gone and done this to? And I started the sentence with, wow, woman harming women is the reason we are still where we are, because men don't need to do that. And please, by God, help a woman. My philosophy was lift other women as I climb. When I got onto that World Internet Summit stage, I scoured looking for another woman to join me, who I knew would be able to keep up with that pace, right? And I brought women on. And when I brought enough women on, I left. I didn't need to be there anymore. I went to my next destination. And if we are going to do this, women, empowering women, we cannot harm each other in a way that does not serve any purpose whatsoever.
Yes, it saddens me to even think somebody did that, because I know how hard I work for what I have. I know how hard I've earned that. And I put some toys in front of me to say, keep going those 12, 16-hour days. That toy is there. That reward for you is there. Lisa, nice. Yes, Tracy, I've seen this happen over and over. What a shame not to lift others and believe there is enough for all. Yes.
There is enough for all. And when somebody does make a purchase or a fun purchase in their life, cherish it. It's not either or. She was saying, I'm not donating to charity and I'm being very materialistic. And I'm like, No,
How do you know?
I do. Well, I do both.
The amount of
I do
philanthropy
both
that
at a ratio of 75-25 to charity and life, right?
beautiful.
I don't need a whole pile of things. I just wanted that one. Is that okay?
Well, personally, I have this yacht that I want in mind.
Beautiful.
And
I
I
will
have
be there
this.
on your yacht.
Yeah, it's a beauty.
Invite me.
Yeah, I will do that.
Okay.
MJ, this is Marie Jo.
Yeah.
Totally agree. Women must unite. This woman right here rocks, Marie Jo. She is absolutely another really such an incredible woman. I like this. I want to, yes, amen to that. Women need to lift each other up. Yes, we do.
Yes. Yeah.
It's like for me, men are easier for me to convince than a woman.
Yeah.
I got to tell you, I have always been very fortunate with my interactions with women and men, but I think that I call my shots. And if someone is doing what that person did to you, there's an obvious self-esteem issue. And when I say I call my shots, I mean I call me out. If I'm envious in any way, shape, or form, I call me out on it, because it means I want something and it's not here yet. Maybe I'm a little impatient,
Exactly.
And it's like the
Look
whole
in the mirror if you
yes,
want to harm
it's
another.
like everything you do is based on whether your self-esteem is high or low. You guys are just, thank you so much. I want to go to the next one. You guys, I know you're talking like wildcats. Thank you very much. If you have questions for Tracy, you get them in right now, because we're heading towards the top of the hour, and I've already just pulled her a half hour over, and I didn't even ask her. She just stayed with us.
Oh,
so
man.
what I want to continue the talk is, I want to talk about starting an online business right now, as soon as you can. Don't even wait.
Right.
And why that's important.
Right.
Why is it important to have an online business right now?
Obviously it's important
for 1,000
because
reasons.
This is the platform with which all eyes of the planet can come. If you want to, I've talked about the 4 elements to reaching millions for a very long time. And of course, internet and social media, book publication, speaking, and television. All right. So I've mastered all four of those to reach 20 million, 30 million people a year with the impact that I'm doing. And so as particularly, and I don't mean to remove a man from this equation. Please know I'm not doing that. I'm actually just asking women, because you're stepping up already, guys. I'm asking a woman here to make sure she fills her shoes as well, because many times lack of confidence, fear, anything that has happened to you in your past, and many times maybe there was a failure and you're thinking that, whatever's in your way, get it out of your way, and understand that if you follow what I'll call your divine path, your vision, your mission, you're going to hit obstacles, you're going to hit barriers, you're going to hit vampires, you're going to hit dream stealers, you're going to encounter them all, and just know that. And here's what happened. So the thing that happened to me the other day, I literally said, boy, I must be getting super successful because, because I'm bringing out somebody that, that just doesn't want success in a way for anybody. Those that are the loudest are
toxic people.
Usually the ones that not only don't want it for themselves, but they just don't want it for others. So it becomes a whole wipe, right? So you have to look at things like, not so much as a barrier, but hey, this is going down the right path. Why? They're going to test you and test you and test you. Are you going to go through it, under it, over it, around it, or are you going to?
That's right. That's right.
You got to figure out your way through, and eventually they get easier to knock down, right? And you get closer and closer and closer, and then ultimately, you're just going to have enough confidence to know you're going to take whatever device you need to blow a hole through it and get through. And then here's the easier way: bring people around you that are part of your armed forces, right?
That's right.
If you build a team. And this is why I like, for the first time in my life, it's not an employee situation where I'm an employer and they're my employees.
Mhm.
Actually, I have a team. The game I've jumped into, we're a team. And I have a,
That's
you know,
right.
a team that's 200 strong, and all of us are walking on the exact same path. And I want success for the entire
For
team.
everyone.
And
Yes.
so I'm just in a leadership role right now, and I love being in that because I have a span of 35 years of experience. When someone encounters something, I'm like, no, don't worry, just do this, and boom, right? It's such a fun place to play, and I think this is where I am now. I'm in the fun zone while I am an executive vice president of global marketing, while I'm running my own company, you know, while I'm being a mom and a wife, and also being in lockdown. And I'm having so much fun because there's so many people around me in the exact same mindset of let's all win, that it's
That's right.
joy.
That's right. Oh my gosh, that is so refreshing to hear. And I want to thank my team because that's exactly what we are, just as she described. I do have one question. First, I want to say, Tracy, you are a gem. I love how you think. I love how you live your life. And I love your philosophies. In the 4 questions the 4 things that you used, you said TV. And I'm wondering, because social media and TV, et cetera, I've toyed with TV in my thought. And I still like the online live approach. And I'm wondering, YouTube TV, what do you see as the future? And, you know, I see the apps coming out too as well, Apple Pay. And I'm noticing that Hollywood is kind of moving over to this Apple TV place. I've noticed that. And there's also how you can buy your way into Netflix and then build your YouTube channel, et cetera. And I know you may say, well, do all 3, but out of those 3 in the future, which one is going to be the more dominant force for getting your message out?
The most dominant force is going to be the online television. It's going to be the Roku's, the Sony, the Apple, the Amazon, the Netflix, the Hulu, that, right? And here's the beautiful part. You can tap into that today. And that's
right.
what I'm doing, right? My kind of Reach Millions.tv show for entrepreneur and lifestyle TV, that's the platform I am launching on. Now, so that is where we're going for sure. But you know, that takes a budget, right? So
yes, it does.
That's not in your budget. I want you to understand that, what you need for that, and start to build it like you're doing. Start to get comfortable doing a Facebook Live. Start to get comfortable posting and understanding the logistics of a YouTube video, your description, your header, your content, what's engaging, right? Because all of those are the perfect foundation and launch pad for when you say, I got the budget, I'm going to the bigger television, online television networks. And so just work your way through that. Baby steps are okay. I've done the same path. I'm doing Facebook Lives, I'm doing YouTube, and I'm doing this. And I didn't do this until I had made that path. Now, traditional television, let's step there. That's where I was originally hitting, you know, 4 and 5 million people at a time to where it would broadcast, because I've done NBC, ABC, Fox, HGTV, you know, all the major networks. I was getting on there, and I was doing that for, obviously at that time, actually, it was for a message, which was social media safety for kids. That's what I went and talked about. But more importantly, it was to get extremely comfortable outside of my comfort zone. It was to get used to encapsulating a lot of content into a very short amount of time. I only had 3 to 5 minutes. And then it just became, really, it's an authority, credibility piece that's going to add to who's going to come and watch my channel when it's on the Roku and all of those networks. And so that is where we're going. But it's okay to walk the path. Just know that that's going to be your destination.
You know, this is so empowering to hear, because I know also there's a piece of software right now where you can buy in and they help you get into Roku and all the other TV places. And I'm toying with that right now as we're looking as moving forward. I want to pop this over here because I think this is important as well. Aspects of our media and presentation communications have fragmented communications amongst women. It is good we have leaders such as Tracy to transcend this present issue. The truth is, we are not women or men. We are spiritual beings.
Bingo, Donald.
One day that will be realized.
Correct.
And you know what? This is the visionary on our team right now. He's
that is the truth.
That's the bottom line truth. And when we get to that, and we start seeing each other as humanity versus genders and cultures and sexes and everything else that is everything, just hi, we're humanity. Then we can unleash a type of inner genius that is absolutely being withheld from humanity because of these belief systems. I want to check in with this great man here because he says, well said, Donald, the truth will be realized. Nice to meet you, Dave. I want to say
brilliant half.
Yeah, ever brilliant. I want to say, I feel so fortunate today to be speaking with you because I believe there are no accidents. And I think the divine timing of this meeting was set by the universe before we're even born at this moment so that you could share this lovely gifts you share. And you've shared so generously today. I got to tell you, I'm feeling very tender and my heart is up in my throat because I feel like there's another person out there doing the work with us as a team. And as I realized that today, what I was looking at when I was speaking with you, I thought we need a place not just for women, but for women and men who are doing this great work and want to do it together so that we can talk to each other. I like this. Hey, Vickie Helm, great synergy between you both. Great messages. Thank you. I'm so blown away when you let the divine do what it does. It does it perfectly, doesn't it?
Right.
And so I want to say, thank you for being on the show with us today. Thank you for sharing so generously your knowledge base. I mean, some people pay $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 to get the information you got today and generously given to you by heart. How, if they want to suddenly go work with you, how can they work with you? How can you, bring them in? Where can they find you?
Well, honestly, you can find me on any social media platform with /Tracy Repchuk. But, if you're interested in finding out what I'm doing, what I'm working on, how you can be part of the team and the project that I'm on right now, please just reach out, Tracy at tracyrepchuk.com. I'm happy to get you and include you in my journey because I need help so that I can help all the other entrepreneurs out there who need our help, who are someone else's prayer, right? We need to really be folding everybody in this synergistic movement so that we can continue to help.
Did you hear that? That's how you can benefit from that, and you can help out and you can get in touch. And I want to just say, thank you. Thank you for being here today.
Welcome.
Everybody, that's a coffee break show today with Trey. I told you she was going to blow your mind. You're going to get off the show right now and go, wow, I can't believe it. It's coming in here. And I just want to make sure you see that. Thank you, Vickie and Tracy. Great show today. Love everything you both do in this world.
Yes,
thank you so much. Thank you. All right. See you guys later. It's a coffee break show and I will see you tomorrow. I know you're going to be talking. We're going to be buzzing and talking about Tracy. See you guys then. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.